Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the RR Diva 001 Space Freighter for the May 2022 episode of Live with Wraithdt Diva. I'm Wraithdt Diva, a lifestyle and pop culture blogger, and maybe some of you are familiar because you've been following this Live with Wraithdt Diva live stream series. And I started this during the pandemic when I was trying to offer a spotlight for Southeast Asian creators to talk about their journey in doing art around the world and in the region as well. And I feel that that was lacking in international media. So that's why I decided to start this. And it has been quite an interesting journey. I've met a lot of new people in locally as well as around the region talking about their art. And since May, May the 4th, is a huge celebration for all Star Wars fans, and it was, there were parties all around the world, and there was a huge 10-day mega event at Planet Suntec 8, okay, which was Suntec City basically. Uh, we had 2 weekends of fun with all the costuming groups coming together and Star Wars related events and displays of toys and all that. So with like saber skirmishes, and it was so much fun for a Star Wars fan. Since I'm still kind of on a high from the May the 4th celebration, we'll be discussing about the art and lore of Star Wars. And today we have my guest, Darren Tan, and I'm going to introduce him to you on screen right now. Hello, Darren.
Hello.
Hello. Just in case, I guess we are also broadcasting this on various platforms, and hopefully let people around the world will be able to watch this either live or later. Could you please introduce yourself to, the audience out there and give a short introduction on how you got into art as well as specializing in Star Wars?
Sure. Well, my name is Darren Tan, for those who don't already know. Uh, I'm a freelance artist, pretty much work from home. Uh, and how I got into illustration, actually, I started as studying animation, actually. And then
Oh,
while I was studying animation, I sort of did digital painting during my free time. So uh, that's how I've sort of got into it. So while I was learning animation, I was just doing this thing, and then eventually, I got a job with Imaginary Friends Studios
mm,
doing this stuff because I realized I I actually I enjoyed painting a lot more than doing 3D. Yeah, because yeah, I'm not I realized I'm not a great animator, and the parts that I enjoyed about 3D was the painting part, like painting
mm, mm,
textures and
mm,
stuff like that.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
so it was kind of a natural a very obvious transition for me lah. So yeah, and then in terms of getting into like Star Wars illustration is via working with Imaginary Friends Studios, actually.
Oh, really?
Because one of the advantage uh, to working with like a group of artists is that we can pool our talents together, and then
Mm,
we have a further reach in terms of the clients
mm, mm,
that we can get in touch with, like
mm.
potential clients. So I think was it it's either Del Rey or Fantasy Flight Games, one of those
Mm. That
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 yeah, that's where I started doing Star Wars illustration, like
Oh, so
official
so
art.
it was actually through the studios, and they managed to get some projects, and then you were one of the
Yeah,
artists asked.
I forgot whether I forgot whether it's Del Rey or I think it's Del Rey first lah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, somehow I can't remember how I got it, but I got it lah.
So
And
long ago, you've been
everyone
doing
in the
it for more
studio
than
knows
that.
that I'm the Star Wars guy. Say, hey, give to Darren. So,
Interesting. Okay, I'm
yeah,
gonna put this on screen, right? And this is like one of the things I saw actually from
yeah,
Imaginary Friends website as well.
yeah.
And it was the Essential Readers Companion with
Mm,
Pavel Hidalgo
yeah,
writing it, and you were listed as one of the artists who were, providing the art in some of the
correct.
other pages inside as well. Uh, my question is like, how was it like? Did you actually have any connection, like communication with Pablo Hidalgo?
No. I wish I did, but no.
No,
I was
I think this was
communicating with the
one of the
publisher
inside.
Del
Yeah.
Rey.
Mm,
So the one of the editors there lah,
mm, mm,
uh, Eric, if I remember correctly, Eric Sean Weiss or something like that. So
mm,
he's the
mm,
guy that I was talking to.
mm, mm.
So would have loved to have talked to Pablo about more.
He's like the guru, right, of all things
Yeah,
Star Wars. And so share with us, how is it like after you actually managed to get out these projects, and then
yeah.
I guess the properties, the brands got to know your artwork quite well after a while. How was it like working with them? And did you get like through that, right? Did you actually
Mhm.
get noticed by other brands from those as well, or do you have like, tips on how to get noticed by brands?
Uh, only well, first thought. Well, I guess you have to start somewhere lah. So, but most importantly, you have to put your. I always tell people you just gotta put your art out there for people to notice and not hide it. You
Mm-mm.
know, uh, sometimes you get lucky, like like how I got to work on Star Wars. Then I kept doing it. Uh, and then people realize, oh, this guy knows his stuff because he's also a Star Wars fan. So yeah, that was one of the first few projects I did. Then I also did another book for Del Rey. This was
Mm-mm.
pre Disney lah, the Essential Guide to Warfare. So then when the Disney took over, then I still after Disney took over, I think I did more for FFG after that. Although
Okay.
there were later on Del Rey also got me to do a few things, but I think that doing for FFG really got me noticed lah, because
Mm-mm.
that's when I started pumping out the Star Wars stuff,
Mm, mm,
and then that's how I got to people got to know my art lah.
mm.
I think
This,
lah.
this is one of them as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
this one.
Yes. Yeah. This one
Maybe
was
for the benefit of those who are not familiar with FFG, we can like to
oh,
summarize
FFG is a
what do they
board game
do? Yeah.
company. It's a board game company. They make a lot of or they used to, because they've actually changed already. But back then they created the X-Wing miniatures game, Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Destiny, and I worked on a lot of those games.
Mm,
So the one that made them popular was X-Wing. So this one's for X-Wing. It's like a box art.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
this one was fun because I got to preview the U-Wing and
Ah,
the TIE Striker for Rogue One before the movie came out. So I was
uh-huh.
like, oh shit, this is how it looks like.
And then when
It's
you're
so
doing
cool.
box art, right? Uh, I guess it's also different, right? Doing a box art compared to an art print or just a digital page, like a page for a book. So, what are the
Mm.
considerations you think about when you're actually designing a box art?
Actually, not that much different because
Mm.
the clients, the FFG would just give me a template.
Oh, I see.
So they've already have a template that is sort of fitted so that they can print it out in the box. So I just need to follow the template lor.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's
Not that
not
tough.
that
It's just,
much
yeah.
not that much different lah. Like
Mm-mm.
like like for art print you need to print just print a certain dimension and stuff like that. Then for the like box art or card art, they just have like the template lah. So you just
Mm,
make sure when you paint the focus is all the important details are within the template lor.
mm. How often do you get like requests for amendments after you send them like a first version or something, or do they let you get
Um,
free reign?
how often
Yeah.
I do get amendments maybe once or twice generally per piece, right?
Mm.
it's not often that I get pieces where they were like keep amending. That's quite rare for me. It does happen, but it's rare. It's not common. But for Star Wars, not so. For other projects, yes, Star Wars not so much because I know my stuff, my Star Wars stuff. So I guess that's why they keep giving me, because it's like he knows the Star Wars
So
lore and the
basically, what do you mean by know your stuff? Like,
I mean, I'm a
I'm just
fan.
kidding.
I'm a fan, so I know what they're asking me to do. Like if this, yeah, unless it's a new ship, then I have to
Yeah,
base. Like if you ask for X-wings, I know what the X-wing looks like.
being a fan
What
really helps.
all the technical stuff about the X-wing. So I'm a nerd lah, some styles nerd.
Being a fan really helps.
So it does.
Yeah. And it also, like, if you're not a fan, sometimes it can be quite painful, right? Because like you have to do a lot of
I've known
research.
artists, yeah, some of my artist friends who are not fans.
Uh-huh,
They generally have complaints working on Star Wars stuff. They say, hey, why so anal and why so hard? There's like so many amendments. And I'm like, then I'll be like,
but it's like
I
that.
don't get it so much.
But the ship look like that. What? The gun is here. So
You usually don't want sheets, more like characters. Actually,
all
characters,
the characters is it?
Lucasfilm can be more very particular,
Wait,
especially
I
like
thought it
characters
would
like
have been
Dart.
the spaceship.
Not really. I think their characters are more important to them. So like characters like Darth Vader, right?
Uh-huh.
You cannot anyhow do your own thing when it comes to like Darth Vader.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a certain kind of pose there's a certain kind of like character he must embody. You cannot do like a bit wild and stuff. Yeah, so that's what I've learned from talking to my other artist friends who are non-Star Wars fans who have tried working on Star Wars properties now.
Then I have the misunderstanding as well. I always thought like the mechanical stuff was a bit tougher.
Yeah, not really. It's just me and I like to be like, because I like the ships, right? So the Star Destroyer, like there was one occasion I even said they gave me a Star Destroyer Star Destroyer project. Then I'll say, hey, is this an Imperial one, Imperial 2? Then I say, wait, do I follow because an Imperial one has certain indicators that is certain parts of the ship that actually
Yeah.
differentiate from the Imperial
Yeah.
class 2. Yeah, like I was saying, this one should be an Imperial class 1. It was a Tron ship, like Chimera. So I was back into it,
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I am also very amazed by like you guys lah who are able to differentiate all the specific spaceships, because I'm bad at that. And
Mm.
like, even don't talk about galaxy far far away. I'm also bad with cars. So
No,
like,
I don't
that
like car. I'm
model,
not a car guy, It's like
I don't know. It's a car.
my starch like ship and vehicle fandom is only applies to the Galaxy far far away.
I mean, I would know what's a X-wing, what's a Y-wing, what's a
Yeah,
Star Destroyer, but
but you don't know
I
like
don't have the
what
specific, like,
manufacturer, what model number, that sort of thing. What kind of laser
yeah,
brand
I'm
that
just
they
probably
use.
generally better at faces
Yeah.
rather than the mechanical parts. Yeah, so it was very interesting to see that you got some traction because of being a fan, of Star
Mm.
Wars, and that you knew your stuff. But how is it like to work for these companies? Like, what are the challenges? What are the perks? I mean, what kept you going? Like,
I
I'm sure that it
can
was quite enjoyable. That's why you always decide to work for them, right?
one obvious perk for FFG, working for FFG, is getting the product. That's the I enjoy the work itself. That's like the opportunity to work on Star Wars. Then the icing on the cake is once the product is made, I get like a free copy lah. So you see, I play the game also. So among my friends, they have to
Oh,
buy
okay,
the
you're a
thing.
game player. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I play the game as well.
Mm.
So amongst my friends, they have to buy it. But for me, I just wait for FFG to send me my free copy. So that's one of the perks. In terms of experience, it's quite fun. I found fond memories working on it, especially when it's sort of when they were doing this tied to the new movies, and the new movies are about to release. Then
Yeah.
they are making products that are
For
tied
that
to
release.
for that movie. Then the fun part would be getting like a sneak preview of all the stuff. Lor. So it's fun for me lah, because I think they have the clients, they are confident in that I can deliver the
Mm.
quality, and that they don't have to sort of
Spoon feed.
brief
Yeah.
I spoon like really tell me about what this is, because
Mm,
I'm already a fan. So I think it
mm,
was for them very easy to work with me,
mm.
which
I'm good.
I have to assume I guess it's a accurate assumption, because some of these art directors that I worked with, they've like moved on to other companies like Wizards of the Coast, and they brought me along.
Oh, okay.
So that's, to me, that says that
Yeah.
they
That's a lot.
enjoy working with me enough that they are willing to work with me some more in
Yeah.
their new job.
Yeah. There's, I think confidence, as you say, like the trust in like knowing that you'll be able to deliver. I think most people are, I mean, we were talking about this, it's also a business. So it's like time saving, right? If you need
Yeah,
to keep on going to and fro, and then you'll get just like you're bogged down with all the details that you have done, somebody could have done it
yeah.
faster. All right, in case you're watching it, I'm getting like someone who has popped by, and if you're watching, come say hi, and we will answer questions as the live stream progresses. So I'm just going to say hi to Mark here. Hello, Mark. Good to see you. I
Hello, Mark.
was wondering if you're going to join us today. Yeah, Mark is like a long time acquaintance, and I
Oh,
met
okay.
him in Manila once. Right now, right, I'm going to show you, show on screen for everyone out there. I think some of Darren's artwork that he's also sent to me about, his work in FFG, I think most of them. So maybe you can go through some of these and, give us like what you found. I think you mentioned that these are some of those projects that were very rewarding to you.
Yeah,
So
this is
you
one
could
of those.
probably go through some of them with us and, share.
This one is like really, if you're those kind of fan that really are into the books and the games, then you know what I'm talking about. Because this is a Nadiri Starhawk. So it's one of those ships that we first we first read about in the books. This is the Aftermath trilogy lah.
Mm.
So I think the books were kind of okay, but in those books there was this ship that everyone sort of got hooked onto. Like, say, this ship sounds very interesting. It was like a s- like an anti-star destroyer
Mm, mm, mm,
rebel
mm,
ship
mm,
that has this very powerful tractor beam. So
mm,
like fans were all like sort of trying to figure out what this thing looked like and stuff. So, and for a number of years there was no official art of this ship,
mm, mm.
until FFG made like this decided to make a product of this ship for their Armada
Cool.
game.
So when
So
they
when they
decided to do this ship, right,
yeah
and then want to do a model and with the game and so on,
yeah
they will be the ones collaborating with Lucas
I
Arts
think
on
yeah
this.
I think they collaborated with Lucasfilm. Yeah, I don't
Interesting.
know where the original design came from.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure. I've heard
Mm,
like rumors, not rumors, like hearsay. Apparently, maybe it was planned for a Battlefront game originally, but they shelved the design. I don't know if that's true, lah. But I
mm,
think probably Lucasfilm had something, passed it to FFG, and then they sort of developed the design. But I know they both collaborated to come up with this design. And then when they came to me, say, "Hey, you want to do Star Wars?" I was like, "Yes, do Star Wars."
one of the first few people who actually done this to show to the world what it looks like. Okay, next
Yeah,
one.
this one is from the same sort of release. This is the Imperial Styler.
Mm,
It's an Onager class Star Destroyer, which
yeah.
was to me I found very unique design and very quite exciting as well. It's like stuff that you've never seen before, lah. As a
Mm,
Star Wars
mm.
fan,
Yeah, yeah, it's
as
true.
the kind of fan that like the starships and everything.
Yeah. I
So
do
this is
kind of,
something very new lah.
yeah, actually, as I mentioned, as you all were heard just now, I'm very bad at recognizing specific models of certain things, but of course, I recognize certain things as well. And
Yeah.
I'm also very fascinated because I love seeing how they actually build the models and the design. It's
Mm.
most interesting.
Yeah, this from the which one? I think Warfare. This pre-Disney lah, before Disney. This is the old Legends one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I
Actually, a
just thought
lot of
I'd put it
stuff
because it's
that
one of the
is
stuff that I yeah, this one also from the same book.
this is nice. Like this.
Yeah, two sorry. I noticed this one was very popular with fans because it's two
Yeah,
Star Destroyers.
correct. And it's kind of like, it's very recognizable, iconic,
Yeah,
above the planet, just like
yeah.
most of the opening shots.
So these are the piece that this one's the big one.
This is nice also. Yeah.
This is the Force Awakens. When
Mm.
this before the Force when all the hype for the anticipation for the Force Awakens, and then I got to see the new X-Wing. I was like, oh, this is the new T-70 X-Wing and the new TIE fighters. Then FFG wanted me to do the art for the core set of the
Mm.
second, like not second edition, like the Force Awakens core set for the X-Wing miniatures game lah. So I kind of reveled at that opportunity lah. But looking back at it now, it's like I got some details wrong.
But I think nobody noticed really until
Yeah. Only I
yeah.
will know. This one is a old based on legends also. But
Mm.
I put this one here because there are ships in here that in legends there was no like official depiction of, so I got the chance to sort of imagine it and design it
Cool. Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Oh, so Mark says, most impressive art. I agree.
Thank you.
And I actually appreciate, like, how you're able to translate the spaceship battles on just a 2D form is just very dynamic. I mean, of course, there are many artists out there who draw Star Wars art as well, but I think yours particularly speaks to me personally when I look at
Mm.
that battles.
Actually, I realized all the art I gave you is all spaceship, but I do a lot of characters also. It's just happens the spaceship ones. I don't know what I'm like I enjoy doing them.
And just now we were talking about, like, when I was showing, and you were talking about, oh, it's pre-Disney days, and Star Wars people will know what that means. Pre-Disney days.
Yeah.
If you're not a Star Wars fan, then it's during the time when
Disney,
Lucas
all the old
Lucas
fogies.
Arts and Lucasfilm were the one who were owning the IP of Star Wars, and when George Lucas decided not to continue with the IP, he sold that to Disney, and therefore Disney is now the owner of everything Star Wars. And during that time, there were very little stuff happening with Star Wars. Mostly there were novels, right, and games, I guess. And the novels, when Disney took over, I'm giving us just a brief pop culture history for those who are not Star Wars fan but decide to tune in anyway. When the novels came about, when Disney bought over Star Wars, sadly, they considered most of the novels non-canon and pushed it to become legend, like
Legend.
part of stories that are not canon, which made some people very sad because they were quite invested with quite a number of characters that
Yeah, I
only
was one
appeared
of
in the
them.
novels. I know
I
one
was
of
one of
them.
them.
Most male fans would love to see Mara Jade come on screen
I had
some
to get
way
over
or
it.
other.
I had to learn to get over it, but yeah, I was one of them.
I must confess I didn't follow through with most of the novels after a certain point. It just I do understand why, in partially as well, that Disney decided to do that, because I think some of the writers took a lot of liberties on how the characters were going ahead in their journey, and some of which I found was a little strange and weird as well. So, there was no focus, and it was all over the place. Weird things happen, and yeah, I can understand that if you want to actually sell a product, you need to have something like a focus, like encapsulate the thing so that audience will continue to be, or new and old audiences can, jump in and out at a certain point.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the characters, we only people are invested with them. And
Yeah.
I know that recently, I guess maybe through Pablo or some people who have love for such characters and legacy characters are kind of like coming back slowly onto some shows.
Yeah.
I wonder which legacy characters you wish would appear,
Wish,
in one of
or
the
not there's not those that are already coming.
maybe some people don't know they are coming.
I know
uh,
that I'm stuck.
yeah.
The one that I was most excited for that people already know was Thrawn lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tron hasn't really appeared in live
Live
action yet.
action no,
Yeah.
but I'm strongly anticipating that he will appear
Yeah, I
in
think
live
so too.
action.
I think so
I
too.
think it's an inevitability.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a question of if, it's a question of when.
He's such a huge fan favorite,
Yeah.
and such an interesting villain, so called. Actually, I don't consider he that much of a villain. He's like very intelligent. He has his own
Yeah.
opinions. Yeah. Uh, which which is why in general you consider that a very interesting villain. A
Yeah.
villain has to be someone that you actually root for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yep. And I think so many of them have already kind of like those in Star Wars, Clone Wars, and have slowly started to appear and also going to be translated into live action shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? And totally geeking out over some of these characters. Seriously, I love.
Like Cat Bane. Wait. Wait, he
Guess
died.
who I like?
Wait, guess. Wait,
Guess who I like besides Thrawn?
is it Cat Bane? Oh,
I love
right.
her.
But she already made her debut.
Yeah,
But
she already
she's
made. So
awesome.
I was like,
She's awesome lah, of course.
I know, right?
Yeah, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I think that was a pretty good choice. One which most fans were anticipating anyway. So
Yeah. They were pushing for it anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing that they decided to say she was a good fit for it.
Yeah.
I can't wait, and they just started production, so I don't think we'll ever see it till next year.
Yeah,
But
that
we
one
already
not
saw
wait. But
some
it's
of
gonna
the
be
work
epic.
in Mandalorian, and so that's we know it's gonna be okay.
But yeah, I'm super excited for the Ahsoka series. Because I know that that one's Dave Filoni's baby and we trust in Dave Filoni. So can be confident that that one will be awesome.
Yeah, and what I like about it is, when of course when George Lucas started Star Wars, there was so few female characters. The only people I remember was Princess Leia.
Yeah.
That there were no female characters that really stood out, right? It was like very male, but
That was a lot.
surprisingly, it does capture the female fans' hearts as well. So
Yeah.
um, that there are. It's not a secret that there are female Star Wars fans, and so but because females like me, I mean, when we watch TV, we are so used to having a lot of male characters when we watch it. So it's very easy for us to like male characters as well as female characters. So, but for men, I think it's a little different due to culture and due to what we keep seeing on the media. So to have after it ended on the third movie, and then the Star Wars Clone Wars came on and started to introduce more interesting female characters, right?
Yeah.
It was really exciting because then we could see that the Galaxy 5 is not just all men, the females just relegated to the background.
Yeah.
There were actually females involved in the rebellion or even in the bad side, of stuff. Like the sisters.
Yeah, the Clone Wars definitely
yeah.
one of those shows that really introduced like even characters like Satine.
Satine. Oh yeah, I love that part of the story as well. and so glad that they are also bringing them into the uh, live
Yeah.
action, so that fans can appreciate it. Both female and male fans can get on board to love these characters. When you go into Star Wars Celebration, I know you were in Chicago when I was there as well,
Yeah.
and that was after when Last Jedi, I think. I think it was after Last Jedi,
It was after
2019,
Last Jedi. It's 2019.
because I saw Pogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Pogs costumers. Anyway, okay, yeah, it was after
I
the
did
last.
not see the Pox cartoons, but okay, I won't be surprised.
Somebody dressed up right as a
Right.
mountain,
Oh, is it?
the mountain, and
I did
stuck
not
Pogs
see that
on the
one. He did not come to over to my
It
booth,
was
so
like it was hilarious. Anyway, so to be able to see young girls come in their
yeah,
costumes, and it wasn't just Princess Leia, right? It
yeah.
was Ahsoka was so popular, okay, and Rey was so
Yes.
popular. Yeah, it was very heartwarming to be able to see that they can.
Sabine also. Actually,
Yeah, so
Sabine's kind
then
of
not
cool.
as many. Yeah, I
Not as
mean
many,
small
yeah.
girls, those like young girls, maybe 6 to 10, dressing
So you
up
saw
as,
more Rays and
yeah, Rey and
Ahsoka. Ahsoka
Ahsoka.
definitely, yeah, that one's like,
Yeah, it was very heartwarming, to
yeah,
know that the legacy and the love for Star Wars can live on in the younger people as well. I mean,
yeah,
that's where how it will continue going forever, ever, right?
yeah,
And not just male fans, because I mean, it's default sci-fi male is, but to see female young girls
yeah.
get into it is really heartwarming. I really
That's
love
great.
seeing that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What is the best thing about Star Wars for you?
Wow. What's the best thing? If you asked me when I was a kid, I'd say the spaceships. Now, of course, I'm really invested in the stories, the characters. Uh, I mean, Star Wars is so vast, right? So I don't, I like
Yeah.
certain parts of Star Wars more than others.
Of
So
course, naturally, yeah.
yeah, so some people might like the whole Jedi
Yeah,
lightsaber
yeah.
fighting, and that's cool to me. But I think that's secondary. For me, that's secondary to sort of the larger mythology. I
Mm.
don't know how to explain it. Like the story.
The arcs.
Yeah. Like the certain themes that they touch on in Star Wars. It's hard to describe lah for me. If I were to really describe, I have to go like super deep into it. Like, like one of my favorite movies is Rogue One,
Mm,
that I
mm,
can
mm, mm,
really
mm,
like
mm.
can really analyze like the Rogue One and the
I think
the
Rogue One
sort of
was
the
very
themes that the Rogue One
interesting.
touches on, and you know, yeah.
Actually,
So
Rogue One was interesting. It's not my favorite movie, but I know it touches on very interesting
yeah,
ideas and themes, right? And
yeah,
it for me, right, it actually showed for once, okay, in
yeah,
all the movies,
yeah.
the very gray area of what rebellion is about.
Oh yeah, like in the character of Cassian Andor, right?
Yeah, like it's not always black or white,
Yeah,
totally right or totally wrong.
yeah,
Uh, that was very interesting because I mean that showed some realism
mm,
rather than a totally space opera
yeah,
sci-fi story.
yeah.
Um, was quite interesting in that way. To me personally, yeah, like a
Yeah,
spy
I think
movie.
it was quite shocking to a lot of fans when you saw the good guy just
Yeah, yeah,
cold-bloodedly killing an
correct, correct.
informant, right? So
Yeah,
that
and
was
so that's why
definitely,
it makes me really very interested to know how the story is going to be for um him as well, like
yeah.
the
Oh, the
series
new Endor. Yeah, me too. I'm
and
actually quite
series
excited. I
coming
know a
up.
lot of fans are just meh about that, but it's one of those series.
They
Yeah,
were
I'm
meant. Hmm.
excited about because it touches on the era of Star Wars that I
Correct,
actually
correct,
am
correct,
really like. That's the period between Revenge
correct.
and
Yeah, yeah.
New Hope.
For me, okay. I got a lot of things about best things about Star Wars, but essentially it's something not even about Star Wars, per se. It's actually
Yeah,
basically the community.
the
Um,
community.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just really enjoy. Uh, getting to know the community, most of the people there.
Yeah.
um, it just, I think it saved me from feeling a bit lonely when I was young, right?
Right.
Okay, story time. You all want to listen? Okay, when I was young, right? I mean, first Star Wars: The New Hope in 1977. I was actually 10 years old, so you can guess how old I am. And I
Okay.
went there with
Wow.
my dad. So after that, it blew my mind away. And I always like read books, all sorts of books. So it was one of the first movie that I felt matches the imagination in my mind when you read books and like visually. So I was totally blown away. Like, how is it even possible to do this on screen, right? With all their
Right.
physical effects that they were doing, and the acting and the story, the charming, and the best thing was like this was is a subverted plot again, in the sense that the princess was not this princess in distress,
Yeah.
which we always read in normal fairy tales or even the
Mm.
Disney first few Disney princess movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it also blew my mind again because I didn't know that when I was growing up, I was also battling with a lot of uh, internally, a lot of what people think of women should be or girls should be.
Yeah.
So, but because I was younger, I mean 10 years old only, I couldn't articulate this. But to watch this on screen, right, I beginning to realize that I am not necessarily need to be hampered by a certain expectation.
Mm.
Okay, that's why Star Wars mean really a lot of things to me. And but during that time, Gen X, you're still very entrenched in a lot of expectations and culture. So it was very rare to find another girl of my age who loves Star Wars. Or maybe they like but they don't say.
Did you?
Or maybe they like and their parents discourage them. Okay.
Right.
So or just generally like they're always into like or TV serials, dramas and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. So then I couldn't find anyone. And for many years, I think for decades even, okay, decades, I couldn't find anybody that I could talk to about this kind of thing. And I also like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So very difficult to find. The only fandom that I could find relating to such things, right, not the mainstream, like slightly off center, was
Uh-huh.
actually abroad. And I at that time no internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Internet, and the very, very rudimentary type is where you go by the modem and
Toot, toot, toot. Yeah. I remember those.
and luckily I mean my family is like not not disadvantaged, so at that time we were able to get some form of connection, and it was a BBS, like the very basic messaging bot that we have, and that's how I found my first fandom, which is not Star Wars but something else, X-Files, I think. And
Wow.
then
Okay.
I didn't even manage to find the Star Wars fandom until only recently, maybe about 10 years ago. Then I realized that there
Ah,
is a
so
fandom
recent
in
only.
Singapore. Yeah,
Oh,
okay. Because,
501st or
yeah, I got to know someone who knows Firehawk first. So that's how I got to know a bunch of very, very wonderful people who have their hearts in the right place.
hmm.
And I think I admire their work, and also general fans lah. I mean, through that, it's like through that
Yeah.
and through everything, you got to know a lot of people actually like Star Wars, and there were actually more females who like Star Wars than I thought there would be. So, I don't feel so alone. Like if I get online, I want to talk about Star Wars, I know like a few other women who will be willing to engage with me about
Yeah.
this, or we can, talk about something else. So that's what's the best thing about Star Wars for me personally.
Yeah. Well, I have to echo, yeah, your experiences growing up also lah. Unfortunately, when well, if I could find a Star Wars fan, it's almost never a girl. So yeah, definitely felt that kind of like that 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 that,
Mm,
that
yeah, I think in our Asia country as well. I mean, abroad, I
yeah,
think
it's
sci-fi was
seen
a bit
as like a
more.
guy.
Yeah,
It's a guy thing. But I
yeah,
never felt that it should be a guy thing also.
yeah.
I knew there were like there's a lot, quite a number. Well, back then not a lot lah, but there was still like significant, like cool female characters. And I'm
Yeah,
not
but very
surprised that
few.
now that it's more commonly accepted to see female Star Wars friends, that a lot more of them are
Mm.
expressing their
But then also
fandoms,
that's
which is
because
great
of
lah.
the female characters on screen now. It
That
just
yeah, now
is a like the barrier is open so that they can see themselves, let's say as Rey, or see themselves as Ahsoka,
mm,
and I think that's why they say representation is important, because
mm,
you don't need to like gender band. It's like I see myself as Han Solo. I mean, you can, right? But it's
Mm,
like different if you are uh,
yeah,
you consider yourself a girl and woman. So
it's more identifiable for you, lah. Yeah.
yeah, but I also like the way that they actually um, progress with Princess Leia's story. Like she's not just like when she was young, and then you remember this woman as a very young, nubile, good-looking young girl, right? Like she did her story that did progress to a stage where she became a very powerful leader or a
Yeah.
leader that people respect. And as an older person, as
Mm,
I think that's also very important, because
yeah.
ageism is real.
You see her when she's in her old age. I think that's
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely appreciate that. So that
yeah,
there are number there are faults in the sequel trilogy, but I think seeing old Han, old Leia,
yeah,
that one's and old Luke
yeah.
is the good thing, lah.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, everybody have their own takes lah
yeah,
on the sequel. I mean, I have my own takes as well, but
sure, sure.
yeah, this is not a platform for it. People can get
Yeah,
really heated.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did no, I enjoyed overall. I enjoyed the movies, lah. But of course, as fans, you got your expectations, right? And some disappointments, but overall, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's true. It's still entertainment. No need to get too toxic, right?
I
That's what I
still,
feel.
yeah, I still find enjoyment in it,
Yeah,
definitely.
you have to find it. If you find it so painful, then I don't think the joy is taken out from Star
Mm,
Wars as a whole, and I don't think that's very healthy. If you That's what you say you love, right? It's like
mm,
you should just keep that little kind of childhood innocence there, lah. Just accept things sometimes. That's what it is.
definitely, I agree.
I know that you were also mentioning that you love uh, other fandoms, like other. Could you share like what other fandoms do you
Other
like
fandoms, well, they are
besides Star Wars?
sure. The other big one is Lord of the Rings. So for me, 2001 when Fellowship of the Ring came out, it's changed my life.
Oh, yes. It kind of changed my life also,
It's
but
big.
not as huge as Star Wars, but yes.
Star Wars changed my life as a kid, but Fellowship of the
Yeah,
Ring,
I
Lord of the
know.
Rings also changed my life. That as a young adult. But
Did
yeah,
you read
that's
the
the other
books
big one.
before? Did you read the books
No,
before?
actually, I stayed away. I always saw myself as like someone who doesn't like fantasy until I
Oh,
watched. Yeah, until I
okay.
watched Fellowship of the Ring.
Uh,
That's
uh,
one of the big things how it changed my life.
I see
It sort
now.
of broke down my prejudice against the fantasy genre. Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings. Then after that, oh my god! After that, I couldn't wait already. I couldn't wait for the Two Towers to come out. I just went straight away, read the books, and I was like sucked in already. There's like no turning back after that. But I do remember before that, all my friends back in school, high school, reading like the big,
But yeah, I
the
know,
the
right?
the, the thick, all three books, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I thought was this. I was like
Yeah,
interested. I didn't realize years later I will be the biggest fan of that story also.
I do read sci-fi. I do read fantasy. In fact, I'm quite a big fantasy fan growing up, reading a lot of Terry Brooks, but not those other fantasy. I haven't read like the Wheel of Time one.
No, I've not.
I haven't read, but there were specific fun ones are not so serious fantasy, like more
Mm.
fun light uh, fantasy books,
About
and I do read them. And so, but I haven't read J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings because, for one thing, the reading must be a joy, and sometimes when it becomes like huge tomes, right, it does take a lot of like time for you to get through.
I think I
And
got a solution for you. Don't don't read it. Listen to it.
I read it though. I read it
Oh, you
because I
did?
wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I went through the whole three books, and
Okay,
then
good.
yeah, it wasn't easy reading. Yeah, but it did give me some other perspective because the movie is also an adaptation, right?
Yes,
So
it's not a one-to-one
yeah, it's
thing.
not one to one. So there were a lot of things. I also found that yeah, he did make some right decisions on not including some things and putting some other things into the forefront.
Yeah, I
So
think
it
some
makes the
things
story a bit,
that worked in the book may not translate so
yeah,
well on the
may not
screen.
work, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was also an eye opener on how they were able to translate pretty much most of what the book entails and fantasy as a whole on screen. That is really Peter Jackson's wonderful magic.
Indeed, I
Yeah,
think the movie did succeed in being authentic to
yeah,
the
correct.
Tolkien's writings,
So
lah.
when I saw
That's
the trailer, I was really wow already.
yeah,
Because no other movie for fantasy looked like this. Last time you got fantasy movie, right? Like Willow or what, it's all very puppet type of thing.
yeah, yeah.
uh, the effects is so obvious, right? That is, that it's like a kids show like that. But for for Lord of the Rings, when they show the trailer the first time, Fellowship of the Ring, right, everybody went like,
Like it's
yeah,
like this is some serious stuff, right? Yeah. Actually, I don't even remember watching the trailer for Fellowship of the Ring, thinking like, "Wow, this is gonna be something big, man." I was like, looks interesting. I might watch it." And then it's like, I'm like bawling at the end.
yeah, I know, right? I think the relationship between all of them was very, very
Yeah,
heartwarming. Yeah,
Frodo and
I
Sam,
think everyone
especially.
was rooting for its specific, characters
Yeah,
within the stories of the three movies.
but yeah, that one, Lord of the
Okay, wait,
Rings.
I'm gonna just like show something, and you were mentioning also that you are interested in historical stuff.
Oh yeah,
So I'm just gonna show one of your art on the
this
Napoleonic
one's for
Napoleonic Wars. But you mentioned that you're interested in historical military. How did that come
yeah.
about?
Well, Lord of the Rings opened that door.
Lord of the Rings also.
Yeah, I told you, Lord of the Rings opened a lot of doors for me. Actually, I'm not so much into this. Is more like a work related thing. So they gave me a lot of. So I don't know why they gave me a lot of Napoleonic stuff, but okay, I still like general history. But the part of history I like the most is medieval history.
Mm-mm, mm,
So that that is Lord of the Rings has it's partly responsible for my love for history also. Because in
mm.
the past in school, it's like I didn't really like history one. So I thought I'm serious with that. Serious, Lord of the Rings really changed my life. After that, right, I love history. I love like fantasy. Not all fantasy lah, but the
Yeah, not
the
all
ones that I like.
fantasy. Some also I cannot
There's
get
so many
into.
fantasy stories. I can't be liking all of them.
But
But
what is it about the medieval age that captures your imagination, though?
the cost, the armor, the, the culture, uh, the religion. So I'm Catholic, so that's a big part of my
Mm-hmm,
thing. So
mm-hmm.
so the thinking of medieval people. So yeah, lor, I like okay. Going back to Lord of the Rings, the
Yeah.
whole thing fantasy, the medieval fantasy thing. So I was like, wow, what? So I went to what inspired the Lord of the Rings. What makes it what it is? So I delve into history, to mythology.
Mm,
So that's how I got into those things.
mm. Yeah.
Then so yeah,
Do
lor.
any
But I
of these?
really like the look of the medieval age, the
Yeah.
armor and everything, how they designed the armor. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is brilliant, man.
I know
The way they
Star Wars.
design armor and
I
stuff
know
like
Star
that.
Wars is kind of like space operas.
Yeah.
Not fully
Star Wars you
sci-fi.
can sort of like
Yeah. Do
do
you see some of this merging, like this kind of designs going into?
okay, yeah, last time Star Wars I always thought of as science fiction. Then later I realized it's not science fiction at all. I realized actually Star Wars is an amalgamation of
Yes.
science fiction, but
Yes.
very loosely,
Yes.
but it's actually more fantasy.
Yes.
So it's actually a fantasy with
Yeah.
like the look of science fiction. It's like a
Yeah.
facade of science fiction.
Yeah.
So a lot of things you cannot judge Star Wars in a science fiction. Can't look at it as a science fiction lens.
No.
It will
No.
not make sense to you. You have to see it as like a fantasy.
Yes.
The force and everything. So yeah, lor, that to me that's the amalgamation of the fantasy and my love for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that one that later on I realized lah. So also that's Lord of the Rings. That's how it opened the door for me.
Would it influence your design of any of Star Wars characters or armor in the future?
Oh,
Your love for medieval, like
medieval.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars has its unique look. I wouldn't say it's that medieval. Uh, so not so much, I think. I think
Mm.
the kind of look for Star Wars is actually more like World War II kind of thing in terms of ships, but in
But that
terms
is
of
only that
characters,
era, right? If they go back now, like they're going High Republic.
High Republic, but High Republic is still not far back enough, I
Yeah,
think.
not far back
The
enough.
designs is still sort of like the
Mm.
prequel-ish era.
Yeah, correct.
But I have thought of doing just for fun, like thought
Yeah,
of
just
like
fun fan art,
imagine
right?
Vader in like a medieval costume kind of thing, you know. Actually, there were projects proposed to me regarding that kind of theme. I wouldn't say who lah, because
Yeah.
it it's not really materialized, so I can't. But
Mm-mm.
I can say for myself, I've imagined like Darth Vader in like a black
Yeah.
medieval armor
I mean,
kind of
besides,
thing.
there's already like Samurai Darth Vader, and then with the
Yeah.
Japanese animation series that came out recently with a
Mm,
very Japanese theme. Right? I mean, why not, right? I
yeah.
suppose who knows in the future,
Mm,
since there are multiverses everywhere.
mm,
Maybe another alternate universe.
yeah. We can do what was that? That anthology. What's it called? Star Wars. The
Visions,
anime one. What's
visions,
Visions?
visions. Part two.
Can do a sort of a medieval fantasy kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's right. You'll be very. I found that one really super interesting.
It's quite
Visions.
refreshing to see.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry whether this fits in canon and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's just like their imagination.
Yeah. But I
There
have
was
to say
some
the first one really was really gorgeous. The black and white with splashes of red for
that one.
the lightsaber.
That was
Yeah.
very gritty.
Yeah. It
The
was an
Very
interesting aesthetic.
Kurosawa inspired, super Kurosawa.
Yeah, then broken umbrella, then become lightsaber.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really like that one. But the rest also were very like interesting ideas that you know that it won't appear in canon, but they were
No.
so colorful and interesting ideas as well that could possibly happen right in some other stories that were live action or not.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, we are going to wrap up already. It's like 8 minutes to 1 hour, and I usually try to keep to my time because time is precious.
Yeah.
My last couple of questions. So, it's been a while since in-person events actually happened, and our reopening only was like about a month ago or something. When it started to reopen, right, I started to get things like, oh, this thing is happening May. This thing is happening May. This thing is happening also in May.
Yeah.
So May, I've been like, for first time in very long, reconnected with people and met new people. Of course, May the 4th, the 10-day event was one of that. And before that, they wrote me in to help to promote the thing that was happening. So that was quite fun. Uh, but there were also other events that were happening during time. I know that you went for the event at XM Studios
Yeah.
for an art
The
fest,
Bling
right, with a
Fest.
few other artists.
Yeah.
How was
Bling
that
Fest.
like, no? Going back into the real world?
I was I was mentally unprepared. I was like so unprepared that on the day itself, I think I wasn't there mentally as well. But I had to be there because I already said I would be. But I like once I was there, I was like, shit, I didn't bring my all the stuff I was supposed to bring, like my money, my cash box, and all the my name cards and stuff, and all the wrap the bags that I usually
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
to prepare so that people can take print home. So that's like okay. I think this is like at least my only consolation is like at least this is a small event, so I don't have to feel like I've like totally dropped the ball on this. But I appreciate Alvin of Ying Ying. He was the one that put the
Yeah.
event together. That he was quite supportive. I think he just wanted to get artists back into the groove
I
of
know, right? I think everybody was
doing
eager, not
events.
just him.
Yeah. So I think I appreciated in hindsight that he actually got me to be at the event lah. So that now Now I can like try to mentally. It's like, okay, Singapore is opening up this, so this more of these events might be happening. So I have to like sort of like now I have to print a new, I have to update my banner, all that stuff. Now I have to think about doing that. Yeah,
We're just gonna put the artwork for the Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
celebration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, any plans for the any shows upcoming that you'll be appearing in? Any plans?
At the moment, no. People did. People have asked me whether I'm gonna be at Singapore Comic Con. Yeah, Singapore Comic Con. I haven't decided yet. But if I do, definitely you hear about it on my Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, do you have anything coming up next for you that you want to pitch to anyone?
Star Wars related. I can't announce anything yet. Definitely, I have done something sideshow related, but beyond that, I can't say. I can't say anything until they made the announcement. But
All right,
yeah,
that means
once
we have to look out for you in your social media for
yeah,
any announcements. I'm gonna just put it there below.
yeah,
You can follow him that
you can follow me there.
Wraithdt DTART on Facebook. And you can see more of the announcements coming up for Darren's works and projects.
Yep. Just keep to that Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Any other comments that you want for your fans out there? I think, uh, when I was in Chicago, right, when I visited your booth, right, I was like so amazed that maybe because of your game stuff, that a lot of people knew you and they were huddling around your booth as well.
Yeah, that was kind of a interesting experience to me as well. I think when I go to events, because as an artist working at home, you don't know how far of a reach that you have,
Mm-mm.
right? And how many people know your work. So going to celebration definitely was something that was eye-opening to me in terms of how finding out how many people know my work.
Yeah, I know, right? It
And
was
then
so glad it happened.
I think one thing over there is like they like to, how do you say, they like to make, they go out of the way to make you happy. Like fans, like there's this fan who really was a fan of my work for one of the FFG games. He, I think he was the one who brought over Timothy Zahn, to my table. That was like a real moment for me as a fan. Like a really, I'm just
Yeah,
geeking out.
I queued up for Timothy Zahn to sign, but
Yeah, I
I
didn't,
couldn't
I
because the
didn't
line was
expect
too
to meet
long.
him and anything, but this guy he loves my work, he went and grabbed Timothy Zahn,
Cool.
brought to my table, and I was like, what? The
Yeah, that was my
greatest.
next question actually. Who do you geek out most after?
Yeah, that one. It has to be that one. He has to be Timothy Zahn, and he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, I know. I queued up. For like an hour and the thing hardly moved. Then I had
Yeah.
to go to another signing somewhere. So I sadly had to give up my space now, which is
Oh,
very
that's too bad. So you didn't get to
no.
meet him.
It was really slow. I think he was taking his time with people, and then his slot was very narrow slot as well.
Mm,
He didn't have long sessions, right? It's just like maybe 1.5 hours, something like this, like very short sessions and not many. So like, too bad lah. I had to sacrifice that because
oh
the other
boy.
one paid for, right? It's not that
Do
cheap to.
you have to pay for that?
No, I think
No.
you just no, it wasn't paid. I think if you have a book or something like this or buy from them or whatever, you can get a signing.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to sacrifice that. How sad. Maybe hopefully next time I'll have my chance.
Next one. Maybe they haven't announced next celebration, right? Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to see if I can make it to another one.
Yeah lah. I do miss Star Wars Celebration. It's
Yeah,
kind of fun. Yeah. I think it's the vibe of the fandom, as I said, is
yeah.
mostly positive and
It's definitely
mostly
fun not to be there. Like
yeah.
people are there just for one thing, Star Wars, celebrate Star Wars.
All
It's
right, I
definitely a
think it's
new.
about time, and we're gonna wrap up and stay on screen for a while I
Sure.
let others know what to look out for the next month or so. Okay. Hi there. If you are not able to join us for today's live stream, you still can watch this post live, and I hope that you will click on the video, some in Facebook, on Twitter, or on YouTube, and check out Darren Tan and how his journey in Star Wars. They will geeked out a lot just now. If you want to talk about Lord of the Rings, so you can insert your comments later, or maybe even follow Darren in his Facebook page and contact him there and appreciate the art that he's posted there as well. Just to let you know what's coming up for next month's Live with Wraithdt Diva, I have already got my guests together and they haven't said no. They are most probably going to go ahead. They're all quite pumped up for that. So I'll just say that it's about toy collecting. And if you're a toy collector or you just want to talk about toys again and geek out about toy collecting, is just come join us next month. I hope to be able to announce who are the guests and what's the date and time soon, maybe early June or so. I'm trying to get put together more information. Um, we are not going to focus on, I mean, you're curious to say, okay, what kind of toys, is it only certain kind of toys? No, we're going to just talk about toy collecting in general and what maybe some of the fun things that we experience while collecting our toys, or what are the pain points as well. And just come join us. I'm sure many of you do collect something or other, action figures, Funko toys, or Lego, and you can just come join us on next month's session. For going ahead, I'll introduce and announce who are the guests when they are confirmed. Right now, we will just continue with our love for Star Wars for the rest of the month, and I'm gonna bring back Darren back into the screen, and we're gonna say bye to you together. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Darren, for joining me as well today as we talk
Thank you
about
for having me.
as we geek out mostly.
It's been fun to geek
Yeah,
out.
right. I think that's the main thing: having fun on a live stream, and
Yeah,
being able to share our love for Star Wars together, as well as fantasies, stuff
indeed.
like Lord of the Rings. And
Yeah,
I got to say that I really do love your art, though. I
thank
mean,
you.
I'm not a very spaceship person, but I can appreciate the dynamism
And
that you
I
bring
do a lot
into
of
that list.
characters as well, not just spaceships. This
Characters.
happened to talk a lot about spaceships today.
Yes, he
We should
does. I mean,
focus on
he's well known
characters
for his
to be.
Padme art print for
Yeah, a lot of
the
people
book
like
that
that one.
yeah, the Thrawn book that Timothy Zahn has put out. So okay, so thanks everyone for joining us. We're gonna say bye bye, and you can still connect with us. I'm on Wraithdt Diva. You can subscribe my channel. You can follow Darren on his Facebook page, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.